Welcome back. We are decoding the mega CEO pre-budget survey that we conducted in partnership with Kpmg. We continue to have with us the team at Kpmg behind the survey, Arun Kumar, Chairman and CEO of Kpmg India, Sachin Menon, Partner and Head of Indirect Tax, and Hitesh Gajaria, who's also a partner at Kpmg. Gentlemen, I now want to focus on what the survey shows up in terms of individual taxation. 93.3%, a whopping majority believe that there will be additional relief provided to individual taxpayers. Mr. Kumar, we are calling it the election budget here on CNBC-TV18. This is the last full budget ahead of the 2019 general elections. So the salaried class is expecting relief. What would your expectation be?
I would expect that at a time like this, the salaried class would expect relief, and that relief would probably be very good for the economy. More money in the pockets of the salaried class can keep the consumer spending up. So I would expect that to be a positive move for the economy.
Okay, Hitesh, let's talk about specifically what we can expect. Reintroduction of the standard deduction for salaried employees, about 22% believe that that is what we're likely to see. An increase in the income tax slab limits, 46% believe that that's what we could see. Increase in the maximum limit of income not to be considered taxable, about 32% believe that that could be what the budget provides. What would your best guess be, and what kind of changes do you anticipate?
So my best guess would be that the finance minister is more likely to increase the threshold slab rate of 2.5 lakhs, which has been there for quite some time. Yet another trend which I believe, though not apparent in the survey, is
to
that
3 lakhs? What would the expectation be? So 2.5 to 3?
Yes, 3 I think is a fair expectation, which would not also compromise interests of the revenue so much, but would really provide a feel-good factor. Okay. Secondly, ATC limit, the investment incentive exemption limit, of 150,000 is now very, very old. Most investments now, including life insurance or let's say investment in mutual funds, etc., need to be incentivized. The provident fund rates also are going down in line with the general inflation. So I would expect even that to be substantially relooked at. Even there is a case to bring that up to 3 lakhs of rupees.
So that's a significant jump that you anticipate from 1.5 lakhs to 3 lakhs in terms of the ATC investment-linked incentives that you talk about. Any changes in the tax slabs that you anticipate?
So in the tax slabs, I would expect that if the wishes of possibly, or the anticipation of possibly a majority people come true, that is introduction of a, let's say, super high rate of tax on the super rich were to come through, then clearly there is a case to extend the 5% basic slab rate, which was introduced last year, to as high as, let's say, 10 lakhs of rupees, and then have a progressive increase in the tax rates going up over 10 lakhs.
What's the possibility of that? There's a lot of buzz around this theme and this idea, Hitesh. Would you think that they will bite this bullet?
Well, I think time is certainly right. If I were to just pause back a little, reflect back, today really the government in the demonetization move has rightly punished tax evaders. It did cause collateral harm, a bit of hardship to the average citizens. This is the final budget in which the government has to woo these taxpayers, these honest taxpayers, more salaried earners than anyone else, who will pledge their full support to the government, and therefore there has to be meaningful relief. Giving 10 or 15,000 here or there by way of some increase in limits, etc., is not really going to cut the cake. And therefore, I believe this is a time to redeem that pledge that the government is all for the honest taxpayer and is encouraging honest taxpayer behavior.
Okay, so you believe that we could see meaningful changes when it comes to personal income tax. By the way, the survey points out that on the personal income tax, we've gone from 2% of GDP to 2.3% of GDP, which is a historic high. But gentlemen, let me end by asking you, and Mr. Kumar, let me start by asking you. I point back to my interview with the Chief Economic Advisor when I asked him that, what big bang ideas can we expect in terms of measures from the budget to try and spur investment. And in that context, he said, look, we have a full policy agenda for the year, and I don't believe we need anything big. How would you read that statement?
Yeah, I'm not sure that there's going to be a big bang approach. I do agree with the focus on investments. In fact, the economic survey clearly shows how focusing on investment is more important than focusing on savings. So measures and taxation measures that stimulate and encourage investment would be high on the list of things I would look for.
Okay. Sachin Menon, what would you look out for?
Well, I think that now the working population, majority of them are belonging to the middle class segment. And it is growing every year by year. And therefore, the government would like to, this is an election year, as you rightly said, this is the last budget before, full budget before the election. So the government would definitely try to woo this segment of the voting population and the middle class as in large. And therefore, I expect that there will be a lot of benefits in terms of reduction in the tax rate in this budget.
Okay, Hitesh, let me end by asking you, in terms of the red flags, one we spoke of was the long-term capital gains tax. You believe that it's not the right time, and that is what CEOs are most apprehensive about. What about extending the equalization levy? Because that, the survey shows up, is one of the other areas of concern.
See, there again, the policy paper of the government had 19 different items on which they were proposing to levy an equalization levy. A couple of years ago, the equalization levy at 6% was brought in only on online advertisements by non-resident companies. Now, to my mind, though the survey does show up that there could be a possibility of extending the reach, for example, for online purchase of goods or online, let's say, purchase of music or other services,
Yeah.
I believe that currently it is highly unlikely, my personal opinion, because the tax itself on the online advertising, etc., has yet to settle down. Government is to still evaluate the impact of that tax collected vis-a-vis the other taxation measures that they had for the non-resident investors. So I don't believe that extension is likely in this budget.
You don't believe that that's likely in this budget. Well, we're counting down to Budget 2018. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will present the budget on the 1st of February, and you can catch the action right here on CNBC-TV18. We're going to be live through the day. For now, thanks very much to Arun Kumar, Sachin Menon, and Hitesh Gajaria, and the entire Kpmg team for joining hands with us to present to you the mega CEO poll, which gives us an indication of what the expectation, what the ask is of India Inc. from Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. How much of this will translate into reality, we will find out in just a few hours from now. From all of us here, for now, goodbye. Many thanks for watching.